Since the third installment of the Sister Wives Tell-All aired, things have become quite heated, particularly for Kody and Robyn Brown. Veteran fans are not pulling any punches, and quite frankly, it's not difficult to see why. Since one-on-one interviews came into play, Kody and Robyn have been dodging the hard questions like a pro, or perhaps just evading responsibility altogether. Now, one moment that's really rubbing people the wrong way? Kody visibly getting angry when someone brings up the fact that his affection for Robyn was a huge part of what dismantled the family. Everyone watching, heck, even those who just normally watch the show, can tell that that was the start of the demise. But Kody? He just doesn't seem to consider it an issue. And now there's another entire layer of controversy surrounding Garrison's funeral. A highly emotional occasion that could have been treated with sensitivity. Janelle's family, according to a few different reports, told Kody in particular not to attend. They didn't want him recording. They didn't want the drama. They just wanted some room to mourn peacefully. But surprise, surprise, Kody and Robyn still arrived. And they arrived with a TLC camera crew. That act in itself generated a lot of tension. It wasn't poor timing. To some, it was seriously disrespectful. But that's not all. Rumors are flying that during the funeral, Kody and Robyn may have shared a moment of public affection. Yes, a little PDA at a funeral. Understandably, that didn't sit well with the family, or the fans. When asked about this on the tell-all, Kody became evasive. He said the last time he and Robyn were physically affectionate in public, the family basically kicked them out. He stated he doesn't want to think about it, that it hurt, and that the whole thing is something he can't share. That's typical Kody. Hint at the drama, then close the door. He also said that he would not be affectionate towards Robyn publicly again unless Robyn and Janelle were remarried in some way. That aspect left viewers scratching their heads. What did that even mean? Of course, the internet exploded. Some fans think Kody is talking about the funeral moment, attempting to tease it without owning up to it. Others think he's just being dramatic, making it seem like a huge ordeal to rile everyone up without actually saying anything concrete. One fan called it out. He speaks of getting kicked out for PDA, but no one kicked him out. He was left. There's a huge difference. And that's what a lot of fans are catching on to. Kody appears to imply he was banished because the family resented his affection for Robyn. But honestly, what really seemed to get the family riled up was the disrespect, the favoritism, and how emotionally remote he grew from everyone else. The PDA, that could have been just the beginning. Kody Brown's recent behavior? Let's just say it hasn't been doing him any favors. Every new episode of the Sister Wives Tell-All appears to paint him and Robyn in an increasingly negative light. And in the wake of burying his own son, many fans are left feeling a little sick to their stomachs. There's something heavy about it that just doesn't feel right. As one insider described it, Kody actually managed to get on the bad side of just about everyone at Garrison's funeral. That's largely why some of his fans are now guessing that the public display of affection with Robyn, maybe during that funeral, could have been the final straw. Over on social media, there hasn't been any lack of opinion. One of the threads noted just how emotionally distant Kody appeared to be, particularly towards Janelle. Some have taken the view that PDA at the funeral wasn't only tone-deaf, it was deliberate, a means to upset Janelle to make a point. Others are asking if something else altogether prompted Kody's most recent withdrawal from the rest of the family. Perhaps it occurred during another family gathering, such as an engagement party or a memorial event. There's even gossip that his remarks during the tell-all were him merely spilling too much information about what really went down at Garrison's memorial. Whatever it was, it apparently struck a chord, because he evaded directly discussing it. Now, yet another scorching topic trending among followers? Whether Kody is attempting to get tell-all host Sukanya, Suki, Krishnan fired. Things got downright uncomfortable during the third part of Season 19's tell-all. Kody was visibly agitated as his former wives continued to point to his favoritism towards Robyn as one of the major reasons the family disintegrated. And he didn't like being punished, as he called it, for loving Robyn more freely. Suki, being good at her job, didn't let him get away with it. She asked the difficult questions, particularly how his relationships fell apart. And rather than taking responsibility for any of it, Kody attempted to shut her up during the interview. Suki even called him out for it, saying that he was behaving like a baby for not confronting the matter. And she wasn't mistaken. He danced around questions, made evasive statements, and downright refused to discuss the PDA scene or why he declined Christine's offer for a double date. When she mentioned that, he gave her that look that could freeze water. Now the rumor mill is turning. Some fans believe Kody has been pushing TLC to replace Suki as the tell-all host, accusing her of being too hard on him. The original post that sparked this chatter claimed that Kody has been uncomfortable under Suki's questioning and wants someone else to take over in future specials. So far, word has not been heard from TLC officially, but it's obvious to everyone who's watching. Kody doesn't appreciate being put in the hot seat. And Suki, she's not giving in. Lo and behold, this isn't the first instance of Kody apparently attempting to have a tell-all host removed. Prior to Suki Krishnan, it was Tamron Hall who had been so treated. Ring a bell? Some longtime viewers claim that Kody does not handle tough questions very well, particularly when they question his decisions. Others are claiming the series might be winding down, but not without TLC milking at least one additional season of Kody complaining. And if the network truly desires to keep viewers tuned in, they're hoping Suki will make a mid-season update appearance. Frankly, her assertive but reserved approach has resonated with the viewers, particularly older audiences who welcome someone calling out Kody for his antics without losing their cool. You could sense the tension that the producers were not going to let things go this time around. Kody's toxic behavior in the first episode of The Tell-All did not go unnoticed, and the production staff may have had enough. In earlier seasons, he may have gotten away with dashing off uncomfortable questions, but not now. And the fans are saying it loud and clear. If anyone has to go, it's Kody. He evades answering questions. He mentions events such as the PDA incident, only to stop short of going into detail. He makes emotional bombshell statements, then takes refuge in ambiguous statements. Honestly, he's just not playing his role as a contributor to this type of reunion. Even some picked up on how he subtly attempted to pigeonhole Suki as being biased, mentioning her in ways that seemed to be an attempt to discredit her role. And remember Tamron Hall? She was once the tell-all host too. But after she questioned Kody's decision to divorce Mary in order to legally marry Robyn, she was let go. At the time, it was considered one of the show's biggest turning points. Tamron was known for her sharper questions, yet she remained kind and thoughtful, even appearing on Mary's talk show earlier this year to show her continued support. Now, with feelings in a fever pitch following such a tragic episode in the Brown family saga, the cracks in the foundation are beginning to come more to light than ever before. Rather than an opportunity for a moment of peace to grieve the loss of Garrison's life, the memorial service has been another arena, igniting years of anger and unresolved tension. And at the storm center of all that emotion, Kody and Robyn, they've always been viewed as the couple who distance themselves from the rest of the family, opting for solitude over unity. Their decisions along the way have garnered plenty of censure, but their conduct in this latest, very delicate moment has only widened the gulf. As narrated by individuals close to the family, the heartbroken mother had a sincere plea. No press, no guests. She was to have a simple, solemn ceremony for her son, a moment of peace and dignity. But Kody, it is said, came anyway, accompanied by Robyn and a small camera crew. Witnesses explained how the vibe immediately changed the moment the two arrived. What was meant to be a somber memorial was abruptly made cold, tension swiftly increasing. Whispers immediately followed. Some guests caught the couple's body language and said it was not in sync with the mood of the event. Their nearness, their physical expressions of affection just didn't feel right. And again, rather than assisting in the mending of old wounds, Kody and Robyn's behavior might have opened up new ones. This time, During one of the family's darkest moments, most of the guests at Garrison's memorial could sense that something just didn't feel right. This wasn't a time for relationship conflicts or attention-grabbing antics. It was a holy time to celebrate the life of a young man who was taken far too early. Feelings were already raw, and it was difficult enough for some family members to keep it together amidst such grief. But when attention began to shift away from Garrison and towards Kody and Robyn's actions, tension became even thicker. Though it wasn't over the top, witnesses described public displays of affection, whispers between the couple, soft touches, and what looked like private, intimate exchanges. To some, especially those close to the grieving mother, it came across as tone-deaf, lacking compassion and awareness for what everyone was going through. Then, just when it couldn't get any more convoluted, a new tell-all interview doused the already simmering fire with gasoline. During the installment, Kody mentioned public displays of affection once more, this time describing a general incident where he said his intimacy with Robyn caused him to be shunned by the family. He didn't provide details, however, and that left viewers and even trusted insiders speculating, was he speaking of the funeral? Longtime viewers of Sister Wives didn't hesitate to pick apart his remarks. Some had no hesitation in accusing Kody of employing emotional clues and vague terms as a method of evading responsibility and making himself a victim at the same time. Some even questioned if the memory he shared was authentic, or merely another instance of him rewriting history to fit his story. Throughout social media, the outrage was real. If that funeral was actually the backdrop he suggested, viewers were horrified. "That's more than disrespectful," wrote one. "It indicates how disconnected he is from others' depth of pain." Another added, "They hijacked a moment that was meant to be about Garrison, and then pretended no one got it." Robyn and Kody's relationship has been a magnet for controversy for a long time now. Accusations of favoritism, emotional estrangement from the rest of the family, and selfishness have only grown as several marriages in the Brown family broke down. Some of the adult children have even openly complained of feeling overlooked, like they've been set aside or replaced. As seen by most, one of the greatest sources of pain has been the unfair treatment of the different families. And this recent incident, at this critical juncture, just further polarized the situation. According to family sources, the younger generation has been particularly traumatized by all that's transpired. Some had even hoped that Garrison's memorial could be a turning point, perhaps even a way to reunite everyone together, at least temporarily. But instead, the event might have solidified those walls between previously tight cousins and siblings. And then there are the cameras. That portion hit a chord as well. For family and friends, as well as fans, the presence of a camera crew at such an intimate moment was difficult to swallow. Most felt it was crossing a line that should never have been crossed, particularly when the grieving mother had apparently requested privacy. "This wasn't an episode, it was a goodbye," wrote one devastated viewer, reflecting the views of many. Filming Garrison's memorial, after obvious protests from some of the family, has shocked fans. To all, it seemed exploitative, more like a grab for ratings than a heartfelt tribute. And it's had repercussions. Tensions have never been higher, according to a source close to the family. Some relatives, already walking on eggshells, have now chosen to cut off or drastically reduce communication with one another. Years of mistrust have bubbled up, boiling over in a way that no one could ignore. Every attempt to bring the family back together, to sit down and really talk things out, has reportedly failed. There is increasingly speculation that Kody and Robyn saw the funeral as a chance to wrestle back control of the family agenda. For years, they've been under public scrutiny and censure, and this could have been their moment to change minds. But if that was their agenda, it failed. In a big way. Even die-hard fans of their romance are distancing themselves. Sympathy is giving way to suspicion. More and more are coming to think that their emotionally tone-deaf actions at the funeral could be the ultimate break in an already damaged family relationship. And still, even with hundreds of demands for explanation, the couple continues to stay largely mum. When flat out asked about the incident, Kody has made definitive, emotional, or evasive comments, but nothing solid. For most, this silence is deafening. It's like an unwillingness to own up. And without apology, or even a sorry, just hurts more. What could have been a moment of shared connection turned into a turning point for further division. Now, the family once touted for its message of togetherness, shared faith, and family has become a cautionary example, proving what is done when emotional needs aren't heeded and communication falters. Some family members have accepted the fact that the hurt is irreparable. Others still believe in a healing, but it becomes more tenuous by the hour. And then there was the series finale of the explosive tell-all special. What was intended to bring closure only rubbed salt into the wounds. Rather than displaying remorse, Kody appeared more interested in exonerating himself. From the initial moments of the multi-part reunion, the emotional stakes were high. There was no warmth, no healing, only tension. Kody's estranged wives did not mince words. The air was charged with resentment and pain, with years of pent-up grievances finally being exposed. As the individual interviews progressed, fans saw the growing gulf between Kody and his past wives. And when the host pinned him down, peacefully but firmly, on the actual reasons for the failures of his marriages, things continued to get tense. What could have been a moment of introspection and candor was instead a highlight of Kody's avoidance. Behind the scenes, rumors of tension between Kody and producers abound. There are reports that even a fiery argument with the host took place after filming, bringing backstage drama to a season already full of it. The experienced journalists charged with steering these tough dialogues asked tough questions. But answers, or pointed refusals to answer, provided by Kody have come under intense criticism. Throughout the reunion special, Kody Brown's dodging came to a head. Again and again, he sidestepped pointed questions, interrupting the host, dodging responsibility, or just plain refusing to answer, particularly regarding whether he favored his wife Robyn or was responsible for the family's emotional collapse. But one confrontation stood out, and it detonated across social media with outrage and incredulity. In one of the most heated moments, the host confronted Kody point-blank as to why he always tended to side with Robyn compared to his other wives, pointing to numerous occasions of hurt and frustration expressed by Janelle, Christine, and Mary throughout the years. Instead of giving a genuine response, Kody let out a tirade. He blamed the host of being biased, refusing to admit special treatment, and totally evading accountability for the very same accusations that have trailed him for several seasons. But the host did not back down. She persisted calmly but firmly, inviting him to confront the wreckage of his damaged relationships. What ensued was a heated confrontation, during which Kody's tone grew sharp, defensive, and visibly upset. At one stage, in a viral moment, the host criticized his puerile reaction, admittingly calling it juvenile. Fans did not spare their opinions. Reactions poured onto every social platform within hours. The audience criticized Kody for attempting to spin the story in his own interest, manipulating the interview while trying to present himself as a victim. Some noted how he interrupted or diverted the host each time the questions came too close to the reality. But behind what transpired on television, even more serious speculation was fermenting backstage. As per production sources' leaks, Kody reportedly demanded TLC swap out the existing host on subsequent reunion specials. Why? Insiders say he felt ambushed during his interviews, asserting that he wasn't treated with the same respect or compassion as his ex-wives. Kody has privately insisted, according to reports, that the network should use someone who would provide him with a fairer platform. Although these rumors haven't been confirmed, they have been the source of heated discussions on fan forums and Reddit pages. Dedicated fans have jumped to the defense of the host, applauding her for holding Kody's feet to the fire and asking the hard questions no one else would. Even some die-hard fans made comparisons to a similar situation with Tamron Hall, a former host who was terminated after her first season, reportedly after confronting Kody with uncomfortable questions. That this trend appears to be recurring has everyone wondering just how much control Kody actually has over the show. The viewers aren't swallowing it. And indeed, most fans are now supporting the host. They regard her as a truth bearer, someone finally standing up to the tough facts of Brown family dysfunction. Some have even called for her to be offered an even greater role in future specials, claiming that her journalistic integrity and unwillingness to be bullied by Kody is precisely what the show requires. And then came another bizarre moment, one that only served to heighten viewers' frustration. Kody started recounting a mysteriously vague anecdote during the reunion. He spoke of an instance where he was excluded from a family gathering because of some kind of public display of affection. But just when it seemed like he was about to share something significant, he cut it short. "It's too private to talk about," he told us. The host was puzzled. The audience was perplexed. Again, Kody had opened the door, only to close it when things got serious. It wasn't the first time either. There were several instances where he alluded to painful moments, emotional crises, or misunderstood decisions, only to pull back and not explain when pressed. For many fans, it flagged a red alert. Was this real grief or merely strategic storytelling to avoid actual responsibility? As these scenes piled up, more and more viewers came to feel that the man who had long been regarded as the patriarch of a unified, complicated family was now simply clinging to control, refusing to confront the truth or the repercussions of his actions. While Kody dodged, his ex-wives faced the reunion with brutal candor. They testified with raw honesty, evoking the searing pain of their breakups, but also instances of relief and renewal that came in the wake. The women's candor resonated with audiences. While Kody danced around hard truths, the women faced them squarely. This emotional honesty only exacerbated the disparity between how the public perceived Kody and the rest of the family. As the women bravely spoke out, Kody's efforts to manage the situation seemed ever more desperate. The wild speculation that he had attempted to have the host fired just picked up more steam in online forums. People started asking a pointed question. Why muzzle a host who's just doing her job and doing it well? Numerous loyal fans went to social media to call for accountability from the producers of the show. The message was simple. Stop protecting people who avoid tough questions. Begin holding those in power accountable. Rather than taking off a capable and respected host, fans maintained the network should be questioning cast members like Kody for actual answers. Insiders in production say these talks are going on in the background. There's rumor that the fate of the host on the show may rest on larger internal discussions regarding the series' direction. But fans find ironic, if not infuriating, that the same person who helped bring heat back to the reunion specials might be the one in danger of losing her job because she posed the tough questions. After all, the increased ratings of these explosive tell-all shows are partly the result of these contentious, off-the-cuff moments that the host facilitated bringing to light. Nevertheless, if the history of reality TV has taught us anything, it's that internal politics can dictate to viewers. Network choices aren't ever solely about journalistic integrity. They're about power, egos, and backroom influence. Gas was poured on the flames when, not long after the reunion had aired, Kody started hinting during interviews. Though never directly naming the host, his words that he felt misrepresented, attacked, and mistreated made it clear who he was complaining about. In his opinion, the reunion was not a safe space. It was an ambush. Not everyone, however, sees it that way. Former relatives and other high-profile voices close to the narrative have countered, stating that Kody is uncomfortable because it is less about bias and more about being held accountable for the first time without a buffer. Kody had been able to dictate the family narrative for a long time, primarily on his own terms. Now, with a host who wasn't afraid to call him out, the scales tipped, and it took him by surprise. Maybe what Kody misinterpreted as bias was actually just someone holding someone accountable. One thing is certain, this reunion special was a watershed moment. Not only for the cast, but also for the fans who've kept up with every development and revelation. The emotional stakes are higher than ever before. And the public's craving for truth, real, unvarnished truth, is louder than ever before. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more explosive news and emotional reveals as the Brown family drama continues to unfold. Stay tuned. New videos every day. See you soon.